Okay, France have won the Six Nations Grand Slam, 25-13 the final result against England, but it's the way they performed through the autumn and this Six Nations for the last year or so. This French side has been building to something. I know we're near the end of the World Cup cycle, and of course the World Cup is being hosted by France next year. I think there's still room for improvement in this French side. That's what's scary about them. Ireland are a solid second place in the Six Nations this year. And then England, Scotland, and Wales and Italy have all been disappointing. Italy, though, managed to salvage something from the Six Nations, beating Wales in Cardiff on the last day. But Wales, Scotland, and England, that's three head coaches under a lot of pressure. Question marks will be asked about Wayne Pivac, Gregor Townsend, even though Gregor Townsend's got the highest winning percentage of any Scottish coach in the professional era, and Eddie Jones. There is a clear separation between the top two and the rest. Italy, their youth system is now unearthing talent, so look for the Italians in the coming years to actually go up the Six Nations table. That's what's worrying, is that Wales, England and Scotland have stagnated, if not got worse. And Fabien Galtier has completely transformed the fortunes of the national side with France. You look at how they play. There's a rugby league-esque element to their attacking play, and that's down to Sean Edwards. There is no doubt on that influence in the coaching setup of Sean Edwards. The offloading, the handling game, the support runners, very rugby league-esque. The defence, the fitness that has come with that as well, with Sean Edwards being part of the coaching setup. Fabien Galtier has done a great bit of recruitment on his part with discussions with the French Union to get Sean Edwards in as defence coach and work on the fitness. The discipline's massively improved, the decision making's massively improved, and when you've got Entermac and Dupont as your creative axis, with Gael Fickou and Dante in midfield, the sky's the limit. I would prefer having Fickou at 12 and Dante at 13. Gautier's gone it with the other way around. So you've got just a brilliant outside centre who's basically an inside centre, and an inside centre is an outside centre, but it works for the French. You have a destructive ball runner at 12 and a creative ball runner at 13. The whole, I mean, they've got an outside centre on the wing in Penaud. They've got choices in positions they didn't have before, quality in positions they didn't have before, and I don't think this French side have peaked yet. The worrying thing for me as a rugby fan is looking at how poor Wales are. And there's question marks over Wayne Pivac and whether he'll still be in the role come the World Cup. Gregor Townsend, while he might have the best record percentage of win-wise as Scotland coach, they're so Jekyll and Hyde still. While they've tightened up defensively on an average of points per game, they're good one week and then shocking the next. And England under Eddie Jones, again, a lot of question marks, but who do you get to replace him? Now, Eddie Jones is the first foreign coach England have had. Wales have gone with the New Zealand influence for many years, after with Warren Gatland and now Wayne Pivac. And Gregor Townsend is the first Scottish coach Scotland have had in quite some time. They've gone with overseas coaches as well. Question marks over some of these coaches and the progression these teams are making. I think England have gone backwards. I think Scotland have stalled. I think Wales, it was a blip them winning last year during the COVID pandemic. They, against a motivated, disciplined, high-energy team, Wales struggle. Italy, their under-20s now unearthing players. They've had some tough matches in this tournament. I think the Ireland game was unfair on them with how that played out with the red card and question marks over that law in the rule book. Will World Rugby review that? But there's clear separation between the top two in Ireland and France, and on another year it could have been Ireland winning the Grand Slam and France coming second. I mean, that's how close those two nations are. I think France are just a level ahead of Ireland at the moment. They both beat the All Blacks in the autumn, and beat them well. The separation between the top two and the rest is evident. Italy, I think, are the ones that are improving the most in the other four, and then England, Wales, and Scotland, there are huge question marks over the three head coaches, and huge question marks, especially with Wales with their domestic game as well. The Welsh domestic game is in crisis, and that's even before COVID. The Welsh domestic game was in crisis. Welsh fans are even saying it. You look on social media, you look in fan groups, and there definitely is a concern about the future of Welsh rugby. Scotland and Italy have less top-flight professional sides to choose from, yet the effort their players put in seems to be better, although Scotland, very Jekyll and Hyde, they're brilliant one week, poor the next. But this French side, I don't think, have peaked. So there you go. That's my brief little review. I'll do a proper Six Nations review tomorrow, I think. But France, Grand Slam winners. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below. What do you feel how the Six Nations played out? And is it a fair assessment that this French side still has more to give? I believe they do. There's a lot of young players in this French side as well. And they keep unearthing talent. I think the pathways Fabien Galtier and his coaching setup have put in place are paying off. And Ireland, under Andy Farrell as well. Again, that rugby league sort of influence on things. You've got Sean Edwards as defence coach and fitness coach with France. You've got, Farrell with Ireland. There's this rugby league influence, and the two sides that are heavily influenced by rugby league are the top two in the Six Nations. So there's a bit of a correlation there. But we'll have to see what happens in the autumn. We'll have to see what happens next year in the Six Nations and what happens in the build-up, obviously, to the World Cup. We've also got the summer tours down under as well. So it'll be interesting on looking at squad selection, working on combinations, players coming back from injury. Some players might decide to retire from international rugby. So there's a lot to happen within the next 18 months. But the French and the Irish are well placed for the World Cup. I think they haven't quite peaked yet. I think both those sides still have more to give. And the other nations, Italy, the improvement is clearly there and the work is paying off. But England, Wales and Scotland leave me with a lot of concerns from the Northern Hemisphere perspective going into the World Cup. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.